In this video, I will share something so easy and yet so powerful that the depths of your inner being will resonate with as if you've known it all your life. You maybe heard it before, but not this way. And this manifests anything and everything. A cheat code, if you will. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye have received them, and ye shall have them. Mark, verse 11:24. I'm going to share a personal success story that happened just recently that will paint the picture for you. I recently found out this really big and competitive company is hiring new people for the line of work that I do, except I didn't meet all their requirements. I have far less years of experience than what they are looking for. I am in recruiting, and the company I have been working with started imposing unethical rules I just couldn't bear myself to do. I figured I could focus on changing the situation where I am, or I could just go for a bigger and better company, obviously a better salary too. But I have this one concern. I am not as qualified for the position, and I know there will be hundreds of applicants lining up for it. Nevertheless, I decided to apply. After a few weeks, I still have not heard anything back, so I spoke to some of my colleagues at work and told them I also applied for the position, at which they laughed. And okay, I knew my odds were bad, but I didn't expect to get ridiculed. They said I am too young in the business and I stand no chance. Two of them also applied and said even the chances for them were pretty slim. So circumstance was clear. I am nowhere near on their radar. There are hundreds of applicants, and most are probably more qualified. Heck, even some of my colleagues applied, and I knew they were more qualified on paper. The evidence clearly states I have no chance. But then I thought, I am conscious. I know of something they probably don't. I know about the law of assumption. I know deliberate creation, and I know of higher consciousness. I have already experienced so much with it and had success, so why not with this too? So in that moment, I said to myself, I don't care about the circumstance. I am not like other people. Instead, I started thinking I am grateful that the company I am working for is showing unethical, just in time to push me to apply for this new job opportunity. It must be because it was destined for me. I know how much I am willing to work on being the best asset to a company, as long as I know they promote the values I admire. I then started thinking, they need someone like me. I am a perfect fit for them, and my mind was flooded with all the ways that is true. And even though more experienced colleagues said how I am in too deep for myself, I started to feel the opposite and started thinking of ways I am grateful for the opportunity. I knew all things happen for a reason, and this could be my chance to work for someone whose values I admire. I conjured up beautiful emotions about the company, and in the height of the thankfulness, I imagined them picking me and being very happy with my work. I felt that amazing gratitude, and then I let it go. Weeks later, nothing happened. I kept getting people and my coworkers smirking and asking, did you get the job? They talked about how company is so big and how I stand no chance. All the logical stuff, you know? The circumstance was still there, and there were clear signs that I will not get it, and how I should forget about it and just do my job. Call me crazy, but I kept revisiting my vision of already having that job and the gratitude I felt. And what helped me during this time was that I knew of the law of reversibility, and this amplified my confidence in my desire like you wouldn't believe. I felt the gratitude of getting this new job, and what gratitude and thankfulness signifies is that you already have something. You don't say thank you for nothing. Neville Goddard explained the law of reversibility by using a practical analogy of magnets. He said, if a magnet can produce electricity, then electricity can in turn produce magnetism. We know, and science knows this for a fact, there are literally limitless examples of law of reversibility in practice if we observe the nature of life consciously. Simple examples are of how water turns into ice and ice turns into water. Light produces heat and heat produces light. It's really common sense when you think about it. In the same way circumstances can produce a certain emotional state within you, then certain emotional state is bound to produce a certain effect in the world. Let's say you find money lying on the street, or someone gifts you a nice watch. You feel happy and say, oh my God, I just found this money. Or, I got this gift. If you feel getting the watch beforehand, and if you imagine yourself receiving it, and you feel grateful within you, you will receive it. By law of reversibility, your emotional state will create the circumstance, just like the circumstances create the emotional state within you. So in my case, I imagined getting my new job. And guess what? A few days later, I am pretty sure none of my colleagues got called. And despite all odds, I got called for an interview. And by the end of the month, I was hired to work for them. Now you tell me why. During that time, I remembered this really encouraging story when Neville Goddard was stuck in the island of Barbados and needed to go back home, but the ships were already packed and there were no seats left. To make it worse, there was a long waiting list with thousands of people on it, and there was absolutely no way in the world he could get on this ship. But guess what? He decided to completely disregard the circumstances and lead by example. That's what we do when we know we are the creators. While other people complain about the circumstance, we don't complain. We feel gratitude. We do the work of imagining what we want, and we get the thing. So what did he do? He imagined climbing the ladder of the ship, feeling the distinctive smell of salt in the ocean air and ocean waves on his face. He even imagined the coldness of the ladder as he was climbing up the ship. And he did this over and over in his mind while relaxing on a sofa. He imagined how he was looking back at the time he spent in Barbados on his way back home. In his vision, he completely disregarded the so-called circumstances, indicating he stood no chance. And guess what? Out of all those thousands of people that were waiting to get on the ship to go home, they called Neville. Someone had canceled and he got his seat. Out of those thousands and thousands of people, just like in my situation, out of so many qualified applicants waiting to be called for an interview, I am the one that got the job. Why me? I was the one who felt grateful for the opportunity while the rest of them were saying there is no way, and went on to complain about how competitive it is. While I was just feeling satisfied and happy that I already got it, grateful for the company, and that I got what I wanted. And I'm not gonna lie, I was happy to wipe the smirk of my colleagues' faces when I told them I got the job. They probably thought I'm somehow connected to the top of the chain, and they wouldn't be so wrong. My point is, knowing of the law of reversibility and feeling like your wish is already fulfilled is a superpower for manifesting. And the easiest way to stand firm in your belief, your desire will come through even when the circumstances claim otherwise. The best way is to feel grateful for already having it. This is the emotion you are seeking. Neville Goddard explained, "It is not about making your imaginal act, feeling like you're going off your high horse, and those ecstatic over-the-top emotions of happiness. Like you are on fire, super excited or something. What Neville Goddard was saying is to go to the very end in your imaginal act and feel as if you already have it. If you are already a millionaire, you are not jumping off your head and going, 'Oh my God, I'm a millionaire.' Just look at the people who already are. If you already are a millionaire, this is a normal thing for you. It's nice, you feel grateful. So when you imagine your desire, feel it like it's normal. Feel how it is to be secure and satisfied. It's those subtle, satisfying emotions of gratitude and comfort in knowing the universe gave you what you wanted, in knowing that you now have it. It's a satisfactory feeling. Or when you are able to finally pay your bills, get the job you wanted like I did, you feel grateful and say, 'Yeah, I finally have it and it feels good.' So if a circumstance can make you feel grateful, then feeling grateful beforehand will produce the circumstance. Just like electricity can produce magnetism, therefore the magnetism can produce electricity. Whatever emotion you conjure up will echo back your state of being. This law works in every single situation. If focusing on problems has created more problems, then you already know it works. In the same way, if you start feeling grateful, abundant, attractive, and confident, you will produce the circumstances that mirror your emotional state. And if you find it challenging to feel grateful, like I used to find it hard after all that time I spent focusing on problems thinking that's how I will solve them, then I suggest you start feeling grateful for being able to move your legs, or that you have two hands and they are working. I am grateful for my hands for having food and a home. This is how I started conjuring up these feelings at first. And as I started to get aligned with my visions, things started coming through. This is how I manifested my specific person, who is today my wife. I felt gratitude for how she loved me before she loved me. If you would want me to do a video on what I did to manifest a specific person, or to get real commitment from the person you love? Let me know in the comment section and I will go in depth on what I did. In conclusion, you can cheat the system and finally stop struggling. Use the easiest process of gratitude and imagination, and just give thanks for your desire beforehand. This emotion is bound to create the circumstance that mirror it. By law of reversibility, it all depends on you. For more on the law of reversibility, let's go straight to the source, to the words of Neville Goddard. Prayer is an art and requires practice. The first requirement is a controlled imagination. Parade and vain repetitions are foreign to prayer. Its exercise requires tranquility and peace of mind. Use not vain repetitions. Matthew verse 6-7. For prayer is done in secret, and thy Father which seeth in secret shall reward thee openly. Matthew. The ceremonies that are customarily used in prayer are mere superstitions and have been invented to give prayer an air of solemnity. Those who do practice the art of prayer are often ignorant of the laws that control it. They attribute the results obtained to the ceremonies and mistake the letter for the spirit. The essence of prayer is faith, but faith must be permeated with understanding to be given that active quality which it does not possess when standing alone. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Proverbs 4:7. This book is an attempt to reduce the unknown to the known by pointing out conditions on which prayers are answered and without which they cannot be answered. It defines the conditions governing prayer in laws that are simply a generalization of our observations. The universal law of reversibility is the foundation on which its claims are based. Mechanical motion caused by speech was known for a long time before anyone dreamed of the possibility of an inverse transformation, that is, the reproduction of speech by mechanical motion, the phonograph. For a long time, electricity was produced by friction without ever a thought that friction in turn could be produced by electricity. Whether or not man succeeds in reversing the transformation of a force, he knows nevertheless that all transformations of force are reversible. If heat can produce mechanical motion, so mechanical motion can produce heat. If electricity produces magnetism, magnetism too can develop electric currents. If the voice can cause undulatory currents, so can such currents reproduce the voice, and so on. Cause and effect, energy and matter, action and reaction are the same and interconvertible. This law is of the highest importance because it enables you to foresee the inverse transformation once the direct transformation is verified. If you knew how you would feel were you to realize your objective, then inversely, you would know what state you could realize were you to awaken in yourself such feeling. The injunction to pray believing that you already possess what you pray for, Mark 11:24, is based upon a knowledge of the law of inverse transformation. If your realized prayer produces in you a definite feeling or state of consciousness, then inversely, that particular feeling or state of consciousness must produce your realized prayer. Because all transformations of force are reversible, you should always assume the feeling of your fulfilled wish. You should awaken within you the feeling that you are and have that which heretofore you desired to be and possess. This is easily done by contemplating the joy that would be yours were your objective and accomplished fact, so that you live and move and have your being in the feeling that your wish is realized. The feeling of the wish fulfilled, if assumed and sustained, must objectify the state that would have created it. This law explains why. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1, and why he calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and things that were not seen become seen. Romans 4:17. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and continue feeling that it is fulfilled until that which you feel objectifies itself. If a physical fact can produce a psychological state can produce a physical fact. If the effect, X, can be produced by the cause, Y, then inversely, the effect, Y, can be produced by the cause, X. Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire when ye pray, believe that ye have received them, and ye shall have them. Mark 11:24 Irvi. I have tried and was left convinced. Don't wait another day to practice law of reversibility and the power of imagination, because the life you crave is already within you. I promise. If you have any questions or thoughts on the law of reversibility, or if you would like a video on manifesting a specific person you find to be of value in your life, leave me a comment in the comment section and I will get to it. As always, I would appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe to my channel for more on spiritual growth and things that work. Thank you for your time.